Yes.
I thought we saw a Cooper Flagg masterclass tonight, Goodman. That was as good as I've seen him play. There was a stretch in like the last 6 minutes of the first half, and then maybe the first 6 to 7 minutes of the second half, where he absolutely took that game over, threw Duke on his back, and carried them. And I think they pushed the lead out to about 15 points. It was tied. It was tied with 30 seconds left. Caleb Love hit that step back three right here. It was tied at 42 with 37 seconds left in the half, right? Then they come down here. They get the little pick and roll. Conca-Nipple hits a three. They get a stop. Cooper Flagg comes down, bangs that shot from about half court. And then all of a sudden, you're up by 6. And then you come out of the break in the first 4 minutes. Duke goes on a 14-4 run. And boom, it was 15. And it was basically over at that point.
What we're watching is generational. Yeah. This is historic. I mean, he's the first player in the history of the NCAA tournament to have a game with 30-plus points, 7-plus assists, and 3-plus blocks. And you know what that means, Jeff? That means that he basically plays all 5 positions. He could defend anybody. He can attack anybody. He's not afraid of anything. This young man is built different. We haven't had a guarantee. I mean, this guy, when he steps on the floor, is guaranteed to go out there and impact the game positively. Mm-hmm. Guaranteed. He doesn't take a possession off. The amount tonight, he had a 70-second stretch where he hit Common Malawatch with 2 beautiful dimes for alley-oops. He stuffed a ball into the third row tonight that if it kept rolling, it would have landed on the Garden State Parkway.
He almost gave a cheerleader concussion with that one, man. It was bad. It was dangerous.
Jeff,
it's not safe to sit courtside around Cooper Flagg. I'm just saying.
Jeff, this is spectacular. And I was thinking tonight, Zion was amazing. It was a joy to watch him play. It was. That Duke team did not make the Final Four. Mm-hmm. They got tripped up in the Elite Eight. Could Alabama, with a nuclear performance, do something? Of course. They're that potent. They're that aggressive. But, Jeff, I just watch this kid right now, and I say to myself, and I don't like, he's better than what Zion presented. He is. He's better. He's otherworldly.
But we knew this. We knew he's a better basketball player than Zion Williamson. This kid does absolutely everything on the court that you need. And he's about as reliable as any college basketball player I've ever seen. That includes Kevin Durant, all those guys. You know what you're going to get out of him every single day. You said it at the beginning, is he plays hard every possession. And again, some of those guys did that. Certainly we've seen our share of guys do that years ago. But it's different now in this era to have that, where you're making NIL, where you're dealing with social media. There's a lot more that these kids have to deal with right now than Kevin Durant had to deal with when he was at Texas, when Michael Beasley had, at Kansas State, when, Grant Hill played at Duke. It's different now. And this kid is generational because, again, there is no weakness. There is no hole in this kid's game at all. And he's a leader. He doesn't talk shit. Occasionally he'll talk shit, but not a lot. He's actually a well-liked Duke superstar, Duke white superstar. I don't think people hate him like they did Christian Laettner, like they did J.J. Redick. He's not as hateable because, he's not talking as much shit. He doesn't have that arrogance to him.
He doesn't rub it in your face, right? Like sometimes I kind of wish he would. Like you throw someone shot 3 rows deep in the stands, like you should probably let him know about it.
Oh, but he strikes fear.
Yeah, you hit the shot from the logo at the end of the half, and you should say something, but don't just turn around and flex and scream. Like you should say something about it, but he doesn't do that. And the thing that, and I've said this earlier in the season, and I got a lot of heat for it, and people laughed at me. I think he's the best prospect that we've seen come through college basketball, at least since I've been doing this. And I've been doing this since 2009. That's when I started. I think he's the best prospect that I've seen because he's doing all of this stuff, and he's a year younger than he should be as a freshman. You cannot just gloss over the fact that he started his college basketball career when he was 17 years old. You cannot gloss over the fact that he turned 18 2 months ago. He's going to be the youngest player in the NBA draft when he gets drafted number 1 overall. I think that when you see all the stuff they could do, the thing that impresses me the most is it's not just his understanding of the game and his ability to read it and the passing and making the right defensive rotations. It's that he's already figured out at this young age how to be able to use his physicality and use his body and use his size to absorb contact and go through people that are 3, 4, 5, 6 years old, literally 6 years older than he is, and finish at the basket.
We could talk superlatives and how extraordinary he is. Why don't we hear something from his head coach who had a thought about his line tonight? John Scheyer caught up with us just about a half hour ago. Duke Blue Devils are heading to a second straight Elite Eight and a 100-point performance in the win over Arizona. John Scheyer, what can you say about the quality of college basketball that we just saw out there tonight?
Well, that was a big-time game. Hats off to Tommy and his team. I think Tommy, it's an honor every time we've coached against each other because he's a big-time coach. But in reflection of that is the way his team plays in their program. And I thought we weathered the storm of them making some incredible shots. Our guys made some too. And just to make a couple more plays down the stretch was the difference.
He had 30 points. But when you package together all the other lines tonight, Cooper Flagg stands in a class of his own in NCAA tournament history for the line that he posted. I know you've been so impressed by him, but on this stage, to watch him under control, making everybody better, how would you describe it?
Well, Cooper is he's made for these moments. He's not afraid at all. And the thing that's incredible about him, John, is the fact he's fully about winning. Like he doesn't care about the stats you're going to talk about. And then he moves on like that's what he's supposed to do. And that to me is what is so special about it. In addition to all the plays he made.
You shot 60% in this game. Both you guys, you and Tommy, said, hey, in November we looked a lot different than we do now. How has this offense been able to evolve, and what have you seen in its evolution?
Well, I think for us, the hardest part was with a completely new team. We always try to personalize it based on our strengths and our weaknesses, for that matter. And we weren't playing fast enough. I didn't think we were getting good enough movement earlier in the year. I'm sure Tommy would say the same for his group. So I think both of us knew going into tonight it wasn't going to be 69, 55, whatever it was. Now I didn't expect it to be this either. I wish we got some more stops. But when you play them, it's going to be a battle.
All right, last but not least, you face an Alabama team on Saturday tonight. They made 25 three-pointers. Maybe there's that old saying, okay, they didn't save any for the next game. That being said, when you think about Alabama and that challenge of Mark Sears and company, what comes to mind?
Well, I'm sure they always got more threes in them. They're not a team that's going to all of a sudden not have any more threes. But they've done an incredible job. They have Final Four experience. They've had a great season. I'm anxious to dive into them tonight, but we know it's going to be a big-time game, and we have to recover quick to be ready to go.
Well, great stuff from John Scheyer. That Duke defense trying to find an answer to Mark Sears, and Alabama's offense will be electric.